Hey everyone, welcome to Matt's Garage. This episode, you guys know I just finished the big workbench project. It's great. I can put this arm on here, it rolls up and down. I can swivel it up and point down on my workstation, so that's sort of the plan for that. If you're tuning in, maybe you are not a regular to the channel, you just want to see the main mod I'm doing in the title block on this press. You can go to this minute here and see it. So no offense if you're just popping in to get information, that's cool. Okay, so today I'm going to modify my Harbor Freight 20-ton press. Everyone's got them. I mean, if you have the room, it's 150 bucks well spent. I've used this thing many times already. It's more than paid for itself. And with a few modifications, you can make it pretty awesome. One I'm not going to do today is Swag Off-Road, the guys who make that portaband stand back there. They also make a brake kit where you can turn this into a hydraulic brake, basically, and do 90s, which looks pretty cool. And they even have a finger brake kit so you can make boxes and stuff. Anyway, I'm not doing that today. I'm doing a few basic modifications and one special one. So let me walk you through the plan. First, let's talk about you saw me lugging this thing over here. I'm going to put some square tubing at the bottom and attach some casters so it's easy to roll around. You can do that because when you're doing the pressing, the stress is on the frame, not on the ground. You know, it's pressing against its own frame, so it can roll and it's not an issue. You just want to make sure it's stable so that if you're holding up something kind of awkward, it doesn't tip it over, but it should be fine. You hear that? That's the next thing I'm going to show. This is really loose. You see that all over the internet. I'm going to shim that up to tighten this up. I'm going to come over here. All right. So on here, I'm going to take this screw off and make something where I can just by hand loosen it so I don't need that anymore. I don't need to use the handle for that anymore. Also, if I can find the other end of this, I'm going to weld it together because having this in two pieces is a real pain. You guys who have these things know what I'm talking about. I'm also going to make sure that's topped off with hydraulic fluid. Why do I have a winch? So one of the other problems is this plate can get pretty heavy, okay? So bear with me here, this arm is moving. I'm getting used to this new arm on the table. So that can get pretty heavy. So I'm going to modify it. I'm going to mock that up top there. I'm going to mock that up top with a couple of pulleys, okay, so that I can crank that up and down. I mean, you still have to put the pins in, obviously, but at least this way it'll take the hassle of that thing smacking around and trying to get that up and down. But that's not the main mod. The main mod I'm doing today, sorry for the noises, has to do with this thing, okay? So this is, normally you have your arbors on here and you press things onto here, right? But what I need to press these bearings off, right? Normally you use one of these and you would press it off, but there's no way to get this in such a way that it can be pressed off. So my idea is to have it hanging underneath. So use your imagination. Imagine this is on top, all right? And we're underneath it. I want to make a way to basically hang this bearing separator with angle iron like that, so that as the press is, we're upside down here, remember, as the press is pushing up, it'll press this right out. This has other uses too, like these things. Now, if you don't want to do all this, you can snip off the bearing cage, all right? Then you're left with the inner race. I think it's called a race. And you can notch that with a grinder, a little die grinder, and then take a cold chisel and hit it and it'll separate and come off. It's not that hard, actually. I just hate the idea that I have a 20-ton press and I have a pressed on piece and I can't get it off. It's always bothered me. So we're going to take care of that today. If you have any, safety, glasses, hearing protection, as always, but do this at your own risk, all right? It's very dangerous. If something under pressure lets go, it can kill you or maim you. I take no responsibility for your misfortunes. With that out of the way, let's get to work. In case you're wondering, I'm drilling these holes for rosette welds. Wrong mask. To get this piece to fit tighter in the frame, I'm basically drilling 2 holes. I'm going to cut these little things and rosette weld them in, and that should add enough width to get them not tight but closer to the frame. Yahtzee, much less play, still a little play, but much better. Good. This is the hydraulic plug for the jack. Okay, let's service this jack. I've never done this before. I've always wondered how it works. So according to the instructions, you take out the plug, check. Take out the oil fill plug. I'm just pissing out fluid out this side. I don't understand how that's supposed to work. That doesn't work at all. A freaking mess. Pretty good, huh? Alright, now time to make this 2-piece handle 1. One piece. I'm going to take a break from the welding and let that 240 volt heater get the shop hot again because it's freaking cold in here. So I'm going to try to figure out the pulley thing for the lifter. Okay, the basic concept is this right now pulls in one direction, right? Not like the boy band. It only pulls in this direction. But if I take this cable out, cut it in 2, and have it go that way, either way it'll line. So the idea is to have it go out and then down these pulleys and then hook on to the sides of that the plate. So let's take this apart. Crank it like this, both sides are cranking up. Well, it was a good idea, but there's a flaw in my thinking. With this on here, it doesn't slide in because of the housing. There's just not enough room. So my fantastic idea is not going to work. However, I do have plan B. Hey, yeah, I know, my hair got shorter and I'm wearing a lavender shirt. Let's not get into the details. If you skip to this point, congratulations, you just missed some awesome fabbing. If you've been with me the whole time, thank you. But you know that my original attempt to turn this 20-ton press into a bearing separator failed. There wasn't enough clearance to allow the angle to go between the bearing separator and the pinion. So let me direct you down to my desk and you can see what the new plan is. Sorry, this is my yard stuff. Big fire today, big fire. I now have 2 bearing separators, identical. And I'm going to use these, basically bought this for the bolts to go in there. And that's okay. And what am I going to do to hang it? I went to my local Everett Steel, my steel supplier, and I picked up this 1-inch steel that weighs 43.4 pounds, and it is 1 inch thick, same as the arbors that come with the Harbor Freight drill press, same thickness, except these are cast and you know, could possibly break, whereas this will not break. It will only deflect. So I'm super excited to have this nice big piece of steel. I've actually got enough here, it's about 36 inches, to cut the 2 plates with the holes for the bearing separator and to have 2 left over to replace these arbors. I don't have to use these anymore. I'm going to have nice 1-inch steel plates to use for the press arbors. So, I mean, they won't have this nice... I'll keep these so I can have these cutouts. But if I'm ever actually just pressing straight on, I can use this steel. And it is heavy. Sorry, loud noises. What is this? This is the box of drill bits that my buddy Steve Olson's dad gave me. He used to own Tom Bergen's in LA. Some of you LA guys might know what I'm talking about. I'm thinking cutoff wheel with like a guide clamped on. That's the only way I'm seeing it's gonna work. So I want to drill the holes so that this can be far enough apart that I can have a bar going through it and pushing down. Doesn't have to be perfect, I don't think. Could be wrong about that. I'd like to request a moment of silence for this step drill. Who said it couldn't drill through 1 inch of plate? All it ever wanted was some sheet metal or some tubing. But we asked for more, and it gave more with its life. Thank you, step drill. Enough said. Okay, here goes nothing. I got my 2 plates, got my through bolts coming down. They go into this bearing separator, hanging on the carrier. I've got the 32mm socket and then another socket stacked on top of it, and then below I've got a box just so the carrier falls into something soft. If this is the last video I ever make, tell my wife I love her. Of course, the worst part about this is that it's at a not good level where it is on the body, but you have to suffer for your art. Okay, got contact, and it's loading. Stop, check, see what's going on. You know what, I'm putting full face mask on here. Worked. Worked. Really, something else, man. That is so cool. I'm gonna do the other side. Oh. Make sure you got your shims. Okay, so let me just mark this and figure out which side this is on. Okay, it's loading up. There she goes. Booyah! Love it. Let's try an axle. Okay. Yeah, I know. They make an air hydraulic one. I know. And it's noisy. And it's 90 bucks. I mean, that's not nothing. It's loaded. I don't like that. Why is nothing happening? Okay, it's loading up. Pins are in, centered. Well, that's a freaking disappointment. One more time. Yes! Yes! Boom! Boom! Yes! That's awesome! Can I just tell you how awesome it is to make a tool that you've never seen anywhere else? I'm sure someone's done it. I'm sure they have. But I haven't seen it. So I feel special. Now, please don't send me links to another one. It's gonna break my heart. Well, now I can actually get to rebuilding these axles next time on Matt's Garage.